It's often said that humans have discovered most places on Earth, but this isn't true under the sea. 70% of the Earth's surface is covered with water, and most of the ocean on our planet remains unexplored. Scuba diving allows everyday explorers to satisfy their passion for discovery. Who's not dreamed of finding a new shipwreck or a new creature? Wannadive.net is a collaborative atlas of dive sites created by dive enthusiasts from all over the world who've chosen to share their passion for underwater marvels. Join us for a highlight tour of dive sites selected for you from the thousands detailed on Wannadive.net. Let's begin off the west coast of the United States at Palau Verdes, California, with a shore dive at Marineland Reef. This dive site is characterized by its diverse marine life, including colorful sea slugs, sea fans, rockfish, ling cod, cabezon, scorpionfish, and many schooling fish. It's a paradise for dive photographers. Let's head east for a short stop in Florida to visit the largest accessible wreck, the USS Oriskany. This American Navy aircraft carrier is 888 feet long, or 270 meters. That's almost 3 football fields, and was sunk in 2006 off the Pensacola coast as part of a program to create artificial reefs. It's become a must-see wreck dive for many divers. Now we head south to Belize, where the second largest coral reef in the world is found after the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. Welcome to the Blue Hole, situated near the center of Lighthouse Reef. This breathtaking blue hole measures 300 meters across for a depth of 120 meters. This extraordinary feature is the result of major sea level changes during the last glacial period. A limestone cavern was formed and was subsequently flooded as the sea level rose and collapsed to form the circular hole we see today. Next, we cross the Atlantic Ocean to the Mediterranean. Near Cavalère on the French coast, we find Le Ruby. This 66-meter-long French submarine sits upright on a sandy seafloor at 30 meters depth, where she was sunk in 1958 as target practice for the French Navy. To dive a submarine wreck is always a slightly unsettling experience, and this is no exception. Its ghost-like silhouette and numerous sea life will haunt you. We now travel south to KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa, which is famous for its high adrenaline dives with great white sharks. Even if you're in a protection cage, looking at a great white in the eye is an unforgettable experience. Here at Aliwal Shoal, you can dive with black-tip reef sharks quite freely in their natural habitat. They're just curious, but take care not to disturb them. Now, we travel to the warmer waters of the Egyptian Red Sea, a paradise for European divers. The Shark Reef and Yolanda Reef is a must-do dive, located in the underwater marine reserve of Ras Mohammed, near Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt. Right on the southern tip of the Sinai Peninsula, this dive site is at the meeting of the Gulf of Suez and the Gulf of Wreck divers will love the SS Thistlegorm, sunk by German bombers in 1941 while transporting a cargo of military vehicles. This is one of the top 5 dive sites, as listed by Wannadive users, which is clearly justified by its quality and historical interest. Leaving the Red Sea, we travel east to the Gulf of Thailand to the dive site named Champon Pinnacle. Apart from the intense sea life on this shoal off Koh Tao Island, the main attraction is the passage of whale sharks in April and May. The whale shark is the biggest of all the fish and is happily totally harmless. These gentle giants are easily disturbed by the noise of scuba gear, so be ready to dive with just fins, mask, and a snorkel. Continuing now southeast to the Philippines, we find the Visayas, an archipelago of 7,000 islands. Monad Shoal is one of the few remaining isolated places in the world where you can see the thresher shark, an animal tragically on the edge of extinction. Manta rays also abound. It's impossible to leave Asian waters without a stop at the Wannadive site in the Palau archipelago. Jellyfish Lake is one of the few places you can swim with 1 million jellyfish with no risk of being stung. The moon jellyfish coexist with the golden jellyfish, and over time they've lost their sting, to the great joy of all divers. Heading down under, we pass by the Great Barrier Reef of Australia and instead visit the colder waters of Rapid Bay near Adelaide, Australia. Here, just under the jetty, we can find the leafy sea dragons. This fish hides from predators in the sea algae and feeds on plankton and crustaceans. Not only is it extremely beautiful, but it also has the good manners to move slowly so that quality photos are guaranteed. Continuing east again, we end our global tour at the Galapagos Islands, made famous by association with Charles Darwin and the theory of evolution. All those birds and lizards are great, but he probably missed Landslide Wall near Wolf Island. In these cold, rich waters, the fish flourish, with thick banks of barracudas, hammerhead sharks, manta rays, and tunas, to name but a few. It's an incredible marine sanctuary that we should protect so our children can marvel at the exceptional beauty and diversity presented by the world's oceans. Thank you for following us on this around-the-world tour of dive sites.